Well, good evening, Wiregrass. We are 1 week away from the biggest day in Dothan, Alabama. And I don't mean my birthday. I'm talking about Election Day in Dothan, Alabama on August 5th. We're a week away. I'm Bill Durden with Durden Outdoor. We're here tonight with our partners, Wiregrass Daily News, to bring you Dothan, Alabama's first ever professionally live-streamed debate. We got a great show tonight. We got District 1 candidates, 2, 3, and 4. We've also got the mayoral candidates, and we also got the highly energetic school board candidates. Now, the city of Dothan has about a $250 million budget a year. Now, that's a big deal, folks. All right? So you guys tonight, hopefully this PSA, we're going to be educating the public about the candidates of your choice, and you need to know what they stand for, right? I mean, this is a big decision. So tonight, you're going to get to see that, right? So 2 people I'd like to thank tonight. We've got 2 outgoing commissioners. Commissioner John Ferguson, a 12-year veteran, all right? His wife is going to be so happy. She's been working on this honey-do list for years. So, John, I know you got a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, the time away from your family that you've given up to this city, and during your time frame, the city's done well. And so, anyway, we want to thank you for your time. Commissioner Kirkland, we want to thank you for your time, too. He did 4 years in. Commissioner Kirkland and I, we graduated FBI Citizens Academy together, all right? Pretty tight. This guy can shoot a machine gun like nobody's business. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for a city commissioner, but it's a thing. So anyway, I wanted to thank those 2 guys for their time in office. At this time, I would like to invite my friend, Pastor Pete Pierce, Triple P. Pete is pastor at New Covenant Life Christian Church, and he's going to pray over our event this evening. Pastor Pete, would you come join me?
Amen. Can we all bow our heads, please? Father, first of all, we acknowledge you. We thank you for you being such a love and kind God, for even allowing us to be here on today. Your word says this in Proverbs 29. It says, when the godly are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked have power, they groan. Father, we thank you for people rejoicing. We thank you for these candidates coming together today. We thank you that everything's going to be done decently and in order to give you glory. Now, God, give them the wisdom to present their platform so we will understand what they stand for. Father, we love you, can do absolutely nothing without you. It's in the matchless name of your Son, Jesus, that we do pray. And all the people of God said, Amen. Amen.
Amen. Pastor Pete, thank you, sir. And at this time, we'll let the moderators take it over.
Thank you, Bill. We appreciate it. Good evening, everyone. My name is B.J. Kelly. I am the program director for News Talk 103.9, one of your co-hosts tonight, and Caitlin.
And I'm Caitlin Long with Wiregrass Daily News.
Thank you for being here tonight. We appreciate it very much. Thank you for listening on the radio. Thank you for looking at our stream. Whatever you're doing to be with us tonight, we really appreciate that. We do have some ground rules for our candidates tonight, and we'd like to quickly go over those tonight before we get started. So, Caitlin?
So each individual race will debate separately, beginning with each individual district race for a city commissioner, mayor, and school board chair. Questions will be determined by debate host, along with several questions from members of the community. Mayoral candidates and school board chair candidates will have 90-second response times to deliver an opening statement, answer the moderator's questions, and deliver a closing statement. District commissioner candidates will have 60-second response times to deliver an opening statement, answer the moderator's questions, and deliver a closing statement. A timer will be visible to all candidates and moderators showing the time left for their response. There will be a 10-second buffer after the allotted time has expired before the mic is cut off. Rebuttals or responses will not be allowed. Alphabetical order of last name will determine the order of opening statements. Further responses will rotate order.
Candidates will stand behind the podium for the duration of their segment of the debate. Props are not allowed on stage outside of a blank notepad and pen, which will be provided by the debate host. No topics or questions will be shared in advance with campaigns or candidates. Candidates will not be permitted to ask questions of each other. Our moderators will seek to enforce timing agreements and ensure a civilized discussion. Moderators have the right to disqualify a candidate from the debate due to uncivilized or disrespectful responses, which I'm sure we probably won't have to do. Caitlin?
So I'd like to introduce the District 1 Commissioner candidates, Ms. Vivian Daniels and Commissioner Kevin Dorsey. You will have 60 seconds for your opening statements, beginning with Commissioner Daniels, or Ms. Daniels.
Good afternoon. I am Vivian K. Daniels. I am running for District 1 Commissioner. I am a lifelong resident of Dothan. I have been here all my life. I have been serving in Dothan all of my life. I would like to continue serving Dothan as the Commissioner of District 1.
Thank you. Commissioner Dorsey?
First, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank you all for having this. I'm elated to be here. Kevin Dorsey, I'm seeking re-election for District 1 City Commissioner. Love my city, born and raised here, graduated from here, went to college, came back home, live here, raised my children. I want to die here in Dothan, Alabama. But before I die, I want to win this election, and I want to continue to serve my people because I love my people in District 1. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you all very much. Okay, we'll get started with our first question, and that will go to Commissioner Dorsey. How do you plan to address safety concerns in your district?
Just pretty much keep on continuing what we've been doing. We have a fire training police facility that we have out there, over $30 million investment. We're still constantly right now investing right now into our officers and whatnot. I see, thank you for your service, all the officers that's here tonight. I've seen the sheriff here as well. Just continue to keep on enhancing and pretty much educating our officers, and then so they can do the right thing when they're on the streets with our people. I mean, they do a pretty souped up job. I'm very close. I have both cell numbers of the sheriff as well as the chief of police, Chief Bennett. Very transparent, very open when things take place. I had a chance, if you haven't had a chance to visit the facility, you need to go out there and see it. It's a state-of-the-art investment that our taxpayers have paid, and the people all around the state, and they're coming down to see it, and people around the nation, they're hearing about it, and they're trying to get to Dothan.
All right, I believe you have the next one.
Ask Ms. Daniels.
Number 2.
Ask Ms. Daniels the
I
same
got some more
question.
time?
Ask Ms. Daniels the same question.
Okay, now we will go with the same question over to Ms. Daniels. The question once again is, how do you plan to address safety concerns in your district?
I will address safety concerns in my district by addressing the police department, having training sessions, having intervention meetings with parents and neighbors and other resources so that we can solve these problems without the police coming when something happens. Let's prevent these things from happening before it happens. We need an economical suitability plan, whereas our children can be safe. It's not about guns, and it's not about guns, and it's not about violence. It's about economic stability. We need to teach our parents. We need to learn them. They need economical stability, and then that will eliminate crime in our area, because in District 4 and 5, you don't hear about all the crime that you're hearing in our district. We need economic stability to avoid all of this crime. Teaching our parents, having interventions, lessons for our parents. Thank you.
Next question is for Ms. Daniels. What actions need to be taken to ensure that Dothan is in the best position to attract economic development projects?
I think we need to collaborate with other people, get more resources into our area. A lot of finances it should be divided among each district. I think it should be fair. I think we need more resources, more training, financial literacy, training for our parents to become financial sustainable, so we can teach them how to get off of welfare, how to get off of food stamps, how they can sustain their own livelihood and move above the financial barrels that they are in. We need training. We need resources. We need to collaborate with other people. We need to collaborate with organizations. We all need to come together as one.
Thank you. Commissioner Dorsey, same question. What actions need to be taken to ensure that Dothan is in the best position to attract economic development projects?
Pretty much just continue to re-elect me, number one, because we're already on the right track. Also continue to support the Chamber of Commerce, being supportive of them. They're doing some great things right now. Continue that funding as well. Also, be as transparent as we can for other businesses and be open as well as far as the different packages that we have to ensure that they can come here and that Dothan is a big attractor as well as our surrounding city, because we're in a big market of competition. Everybody's competing with us. Dothan, we are the number one in the state, Dothan, Alabama, with my fellow colleagues. So pretty much just keep on continue doing what we've been doing, because the train is moving right now, and it's moving rapidly, and it's moving pretty good.
Thank you.
All right, question 3, and we'll stay with Commissioner Dorsey first. Residents often feel disconnected from local government. How would you keep the community informed and involved in key decisions?
That's a great question. But also you can Google Dothan.org. I've had over 60, 70 forums since I've been on the commission at different areas of my district, Andrew Bell, Walton Park, Adams Beverage, Walton Park, different areas. Also, I met at different individuals' home. Also, just assuring them that, giving them my number, being as transparent as I can be, and just pretty much just being open and available for the individuals that can see me. Also, I put a business in the center of my district, close to the downtown, where I'm accessible, and just being accessible for the people, making sure everybody's answering the phones. Our department heads are doing what they're supposed to do. Our assistant secretaries, they're doing what they're supposed to do, and just holding people accountable that's in leadership roles that the citizens pay, the taxpayer dollars that they pay for.
Thank you. Ms. Daniels, same question for you. Residents often feel disconnected from local government. How would you keep the community informed and involved in key decisions?
I would have town hall meetings. I would have social media going out. I will be available to the people. They will have access to my telephone number, to my address. People want you to answer them back. They want to feel involved. They want to feel empowered. They don't want to feel left out. They want to feel needed. And I will be available to my community at all costs.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Daniels, this is a community question from Stacy. Do you have a plan to bring in more jobs outside of the medical industry, and how can we allow more companies to bid on city jobs?
Can you say that again?
Yes, ma'am. Do you have a plan to bring in more jobs outside of the medical industry, and how can we allow more companies to bid on city jobs?
I would do some research, and I would talk to people that's in construction and other people from other cities and get information, and I would see what my community needs, what's best for my community, and see how we can collaborate with other members of the mayor and other members of the community, and see what's best available for my community and how can we get it there, make a plan, and make the plan work.
Thank you. Commissioner Dorsey, same question, a community question from Stacy. Do you have a plan to bring in more jobs outside of the medical industry, and how can we allow more companies to bid on city jobs?
I do, actually. We're in the process right now of recruitment. There's some big deals that's working right now that we can't disclose because you have businessmen that may perhaps go buy the property and you know, we don't and raise the price on the city of Dothan. So we have some great things and opportunities coming outside of that scope. Also, there's some different things as well that we're working on as some development in regard to first bringing into the core part of the district, as well as you may have heard about the Workforce Development Center, because the thing is we have some jobs, but the thing is we have to have our people work ready. So we're in the process right now partnering with Wallace Community College for the Workforce Development Center, where that our people can be able to work the jobs and maintain the job and learn the different personal skills and life skills that they need to have to pertain that. So therefore we have people on the job that can do the job and do the job well. And when you do that right there, then you have attractive people from other cities, other states, and other nations that will come here to Dothan, Alabama.
Thank you.
All right, thank you both. Now we'll give you 1 minute each for your closing statements, and we'll start with Commissioner Dorsey.
Can I yield to Ms. Vivian?
We prefer that you go in order.
Okay.
Yes, we'd like for you to go in first. We're going in reverse order for the closing statements.
Okay, I got you. I just want everybody to know that I've served. I haven't lost my political will to serve the people. I feel as if I've served well. I wish my wife were here. She could tell you how hard I did serve. Missed countless hours and countless nights, but at the end, it was still very rewarding for my family and also as well as my community. We have some great things that took place in District 1, the largest district in the city, landmass variances. I feel as if I've answered calls. Anyone who has ever called 685-9332, I've answered. Anybody who has ever emailed me, I've answered, I've replied. I've been workable with the people. I haven't been as radical as some would have thought or possibly wanted me to be. I have served with integrity. I've came, I went, I've traveled the nation to get educated, came in a little dusty, but I had a learning curve, and for the most part, I've loved what I do and I love what I'm doing, and I ask right now that if you elect me and just give me 4 more years to be your city commissioner, and I'll do the same souped-up job that I've done the past year. Thank you.
Okay, and 60 seconds for you, your closing statement, Ms. Daniels.
The city of Dothan is progressing all over. I don't think that District 1 is progressing. I don't think the leadership and the voice that we don't have it now. We needed somebody that would speak up for us, that would work for us, that would serve for us, and I would like to be that person. Thank you.
Thank you very much, candidates. We appreciate that. Okay, that is our first debate tonight. We want to thank our District 1 candidates. We appreciate you coming very much. And also, like as we're getting set for our next round here, we'd like to mention one of our sponsors tonight, News Talk 1039. That's FM on your radio. This debate is brought to you in part by News Talk 1039, your home for America's top news every day. We bring you the biggest news stories from across the nation, hard-hitting opinions, and the voices that shape the conversation, from Rick Burgess' show in the morning to top names in news and commentary like Sean Hannity, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton, Lars Larson. Stay informed, stay engaged, and join the conversation. You can visit newstalk1039.com and also listen on our website, and you can also download our app and listen and interact with us through our free app, which is available on any app platform that you may decide to use. So you can get local news updates from Wiregrass Daily News. You can check out our community calendar, which has a lot of activities from nonprofit organizations and schools and other things like that. And we wish you would make us your go-to source for radio, so you stay up to date on the nation's stories. We also provide state news with the Alabama News Network, and of course, local news with our own brand of local news from wiregrassdailynews.com. As we prepare to get ready for District 2, which will be coming up in just moments.
Before we start our next debate, we're going to take a small recess. So good to see you. Sorry, my hands are a little sweaty. I like to think so.
All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to our very first WiregrassDailyNews.com candidate debates. It is time to move on to our second group of candidates tonight. This will be our District 2 Commissioner candidates. I'd like to introduce them to you right now. Mr. Phillipe Kirksey, Ms. Dorinda McGowan, and Mr. Derrick Tiller. How are you guys? We will allow each candidate 60 seconds for an opening statement, and we'll begin with Mr. Kirksey.
Hey, how are y'all? I'm Phillipe Kirksey, and pretty much running on a platform for progress. District 2 is unique. However, it is full of hardworking people who I've, over the last 2 months, had a close and upfront seek to get to know and also begin to love even more. The platform for progress is pretty much taking what matters most to people, which would be affordable housing, improved infrastructure, improved transportation, the school district, supporting the educational system. Also would be community and public safety, which is near and dear to my heart. Being a 22-year law enforcement veteran, coming from a law enforcement and military background, as my father served in both aspects, I understand that people and the community cannot grow if it doesn't first feel and know that it's safe. So community and public safety is a direct aspect of mine I would love to address, alleviate, and also improve upon. So that is one of my biggest efforts that I want to address in District 2 as a commissioner. But once again, affordable housing, infrastructure improvement, support of the school system, but also support of small business as well, as me and my wife are both small business owners. I think we can get a lot done as we come together, move away from divisiveness, but come together and stand together and improve as a whole so we can improve the quality of life of everybody in District 2. Thank you.
Okay, 60 seconds. We'll remind our candidates of that. 60 seconds for your opening statement. Ms. McGowan.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for having me today. My name is Dorinda McGowan. I am running for District 2 Commissioner, and the main reason why I'm running is the quality of life of District 2. I am an ex-military wife. I traveled the country. I returned home in 2005. I left at a very young age. And when I returned home, I was kind of quite disappointed as to what's going on within my community. As far as Dothan as a whole, as everyone say, I love Dothan. I dearly love Dothan, and Dothan is growing, and I'm very proud. But I'm also concerned. I'm concerned about my community. I'm concerned about the youth, the elderly, and that is the main reason why I'm running, because I want to see a better quality of life. We have so much. People ask me, what is your vision? It's very broad. There are so many things that need to be done within our district. We need to look at the education. We need to look at the safety. We need to look at the abandoned homes, the streets. All of these things need to be addressed. And we need funding for our community. We are sitting right in the middle of the most valuable part of Dothan. Out of the 6 districts, we are in poverty level right now. We need help. We need for our downtown commissioners and mayors to look into our district and see what's really going on. I am not the person that would stand behind the curtain. I am the person that's going to come out, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be real blunt as to what's going on. I've traveled the world, and I'm coming back. I'm looking from the outside in, and I am
Ms. McGowan, I'm going to have to cut you off, Ms. McGowan. We do have a limit of 60 seconds for our opening. So if you would, candidates, please adhere to that. You do have a clock in front of you on that screen, and it will count down and start showing you negative time whenever your 60 seconds is up. Okay, we have one last opening statement. This is from Mr. Tiller.
My name is Derrick Tiller, and I need your vote on August 5th. As your next commissioner, my desire is to restore, rebuild, and reduce. My desire is to restore pride back to our community, for us to look at our neighborhood and smile, to begin to rebuild our neighborhoods, begin to rebuild businesses, begin to rebuild the integrity with our district, and then to reduce the crime in our neighborhood, reduce the addiction rate in our neighborhood, reduce the homeless rate in our neighborhood. I am someone who has strategic planning experience. I have ran a budget with over $2 million. I'm a part of many boards in this area that is already making a huge impact on our district and on our community as a whole. So all I'm asking you to do is to vote for someone who has already been doing the work, already knocking on doors, already had relationships built, already poured into our community, already showed up. I'm needing you to show out on August 5th to vote for Derrick Tiller as your next commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you for your statements. We now have 4 questions for you, and we will also remind you these are 60-second time limits for your responses as well.
Beginning with Mr. Tiller, how do you plan to support Eastside business development?
Definitely. So my desire is to partner with the Chamber of Commerce. District 2 has a beautiful opportunity to allow multiple businesses in order to come to the district. We have facilities and buildings that are vacant and have been vacant for many years. So my desire is to partner with the Chamber of Commerce and begin to walk our community and look at these facilities so that we can go after businesses that can utilize these facilities. Not only by doing this, this will bring opportunity for our employment within our district, that our constituents will have the ability to walk to their jobs, that they will have the ability to ride bikes to their jobs. Accessibility is the environment that we need in order to change District 2. So my desire as your District 2 commissioner is partnership, connect with the community of commerce, and begin to build these partnerships in order to bring new businesses to our district. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. McGowan, same question. How do you plan to support Eastside business development?
In order to grow our businesses and to bring in new business here, we first need to clean up our district. We need to make sure that it's inviting to come. We need to give them a reason and offer any incentives that will have the new businesses come in for its tax breaks. We want to make sure that they know where they can get the resources and the funding that they need. Also to help them seek out mentors that are already in business in our community, because there's a lot of businesses that are doing quite well. And also the businesses, people, entrepreneurs that are trying to go into business. We need to help them as well. I am an entrepreneur and I've been in business most of my life. So I will do as much as I can to help as well. And the Chambers of Commerce will be a great place to start as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kirksey, same question. How do you plan to support Eastside business development?
That's a great question. I do think doing the work of the community and doing the job that you're already paid to do is 2 different things. But I will say this, me having a master's in business administration, I think will help bring that type of expertise and experience to the commission. I think the commission and the city of Dothan as a whole has already done a great job by bringing economic development and economic resources to the district, to the east side, with the addition of the FedEx facility, the Amazon facility, and multiple others. I think also building a database of ready, qualified, certified, and skilled workers so that businesses that would potentially come to the area will already know that the personnel base is already here waiting for them. So we can also fulfill that need that they would need to workers by just bringing their business here. Also bringing those great paying jobs and also economically advanced jobs to the city I think will help build families and build a stable base for our resources for our families to grow and also be stable in the city.
Thank you.
Okay, our next question, and we'll start with Mr. Kirksey on this one. What are your thoughts on the City Center project and its impact on District 2? Will you support it and the long-term vision it is part of?
Yeah, the City Center project, along with the 84 East Corridor project, I think are great for the city of Dothan. I've experienced smaller towns, for instance, Alexander City, Alabama, smaller places that experience a loss of revenue, a loss of business. So if you don't grow, you die. So building is also an advancement for the future. It's an investment. So I understand revenue generating projects, I understand investments into the city, and supporting the City Center project would be something I would do long term. I think the return on it could be great for everyone. And indirectly, as it affects positively District 2, I think it'll positively affect the city of Dothan as a whole.
All right, thank you. Same question for Ms. McGowan. What are your thoughts on the City Center project and its impact on District 2? Will you support it and the long-term vision that it's part of?
I will definitely support it, and I think the projects are going quite well. But at the same time, I would like to see those projects make a difference where it will bring in jobs for District 2 as well, and education. And I'm for growth all the way around. But what we really need to look at is how it's going to affect District 2, and making sure that the funding that they use to bring in these projects are overseeing our district, not overseeing our district, but making sure that our district are going to be included in those funds, and so that we can actually bring in some of the funds in District 2 to help us work outside the community as well, and we come together as a whole. So everyone is sharing the wealth and the profits from what is going on within our city.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Tiller, same question. What are your thoughts on the City Center project and its impact on District 2? Will you support it and the long-term vision that it's part of?
I think it is a wonderful thing that is happening in District 2, and seeing the downtown area really flourish into what it is. I think as your next commissioner, my desire is to make sure that the constituents of District 2 feel the same way. Sometimes as District 2, we feel left out and feel as though our needs aren't being met, when in reality, this was a priority of the city, and that our needs are on the list, and this is an opportunity to bring in funds into the city in order to meet our needs. And so this is a great opportunity to transition District 2. This is a great opportunity to transition the downtown area of District 2. This is going to bring life into our city. This is going to bring revenue into our city. And so we can come up with all these great initiatives, but this is the start. That this shows that we love Dothan. We want to see improvement in Dothan. We want to see improvement in our downtown area. And so again, yes, I will support it 10 toes down and make sure that this project continues to grow so that District 2 can continue to develop and grow as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your responses.
Question 3, we'll start with Mr. Tiller. What actions do you feel need to be taken to ensure that District 2 residents feel safe in their homes, neighborhoods, and businesses?
I think we have to continue to bridge the gap between the community and the police force. I have created a partnership with Will Glover, and he's an amazing guy who anytime I can text in order to get information of what's going on in our district. That's how we begin to make our constituents feel safe, by making them see the officers are not just officers, but they are there to communicate, they are there to love, they are there to protect. And by them doing their job, we fully support them. We give them encouragement when they're cleaning up our streets. We give them encouragement when they're showing up when we call. We push them and show them that we appreciate them. But on the flip side, if they do something wrong, we follow the steps and hold them accountable. That's how we feel safe in our community, knowing that our community loves us, our police officers love us, our commissioners love us, and in return, we love them. So by creating this bridging the gap method, it will allow our constituents to feel safe, to feel loved, to feel seen within District 2.
Thank you. Ms. McGowan, same question. What actions do you feel need to be taken to ensure that District 2 residents feel safe in their homes, neighborhoods, and businesses?
As a product of District 2, I am very good at relating to my district, the residents of District 2. I feel as though what we need to do is to make sure we get to the root of the problem. America spends $100,000 per year in incarcerating juveniles. If we can look at 1/3 of that money and we can put it in prevention care, then we got to start here, as well as not just the juveniles or the adults that are committing the crime, but also the police officers. We need to make sure that they are trained well in order to handle District 2. As we say before, District 2 is very vulnerable. So we need to make sure that on both sides of the aisle that they're taken care of, and that when we come together, we're training them, and we're training the officers, and we're also getting the trust of the people. And then at some point, we'll come together. It's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. and we got to work together, and we have to work as a whole, not just as a district, but as a whole, as a community, as Dothan together.
Thank you. Mr. Kirksey, same question. What actions do you feel need to be taken to ensure that District 2 residents feel safe in their homes, neighborhoods, and businesses?
I think as a lifelong public servant and not a career politician, I understand this probably a little bit more in depth than anyone. I understand the struggles and the trials that law enforcement go through every day, putting on a badge and gun and risking their life to serve and protect everyone in the city. And they've done a great job, working hand in hand, sometimes every weekend with the Dothan City officers. I feel very blessed to live in a city that has officers like that and work with a diverse police department that the city has grown. I think the building of non-competitive partnerships and contributing and supporting community-oriented policing initiatives that build trust with the community, I think is the way to go. Also pushing a community-oriented policing model, which is the COP model, which I've taught for over 22 years at other agencies. And all it does is it's building rapport and relationship with citizens that you have to serve and protect before you ever have to enact your law enforcement authorities or abilities over them. I think just building those non-competitive partnerships, also establishing neighborhood watch programs, and letting the citizens know the community and public safety is not just a policing issue, but it's a community issue. So it's also police and community working together to make sure your neighborhood stays safe, and you take an active part and active investment in your own public and community safety.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Now we'll move on to our fourth question, and we'll keep it with Mr. Kirksey. This is a question from our community. Ray would like to know, should the city of Dothan be in competition with the private sector, particularly in the garbage disposal / landfill business? Why or why not?
Once again, kind of establishing what I said on the last question, I think building those non-competitive partnerships. I don't think the city would benefit or private sector would benefit from the public and private sector going at it for competition of business. I think there can be unique plans established to where both entities can actually flourish and also help the city of Dothan, especially with waste and garbage disposal. New applications, new procedures, innovation and technology, I think will also help both entities serve the city and serve the citizens of Dothan in a great manner, in a great way.
Okay, Ms. McGowan, the question from Ray is, should the city of Dothan be in competition with the private sector, particularly in the garbage disposal / landfill business? Why or why not?
Well, I don't believe that they should be in competition. I think they should collaborate together to find out what is the best for the private and the public, both the city and the county together. So if you come together and you figure out what is going to be best in making sure that things are taken care of throughout the city and the county, that's the best route to go, is collaborating together strategically and making sure that everything is taken care of and we live in a clean, safer environment.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Tiller, the question, should the city of Dothan be in competition with the private sector, particularly in the garbage disposal / landfill business? Why or why not?
I think definitely the answer is no. But in reality, we have to look at capacity. When we're looking at the private sector, we have to look and see, does this business have the capacity to handle the load of Dothan? And I don't think the city of Dothan came in wanting to be in the landfill business, but they had to take care of Dothan. We have constituents within our district that are saying that they have overflowing trash in their yards and different things in that nature. And so those are some things that we have to begin to evaluate. Do we create a partnership? Do we create a contract? Do we create something to make sure that our constituents are getting taken care of? So I think at the simple answer, it's no. But when we begin to evaluate the productivity and the effectiveness of these contracts, sometimes we have to step over those lines in order to make sure that our citizens are taken care of.
Okay, thank you, candidates. And now we'll move on to our closing statements. Each of you will have 1 minute, and we'll stay with Mr. Tiller.
Thank you, sir. You've heard many of the candidates talk on tonight of things that they're going to do, things that they thought about doing, plans that they have made. But I stand here today as a District 2 constituent saying that I've done the work. I've knocked on doors, I've fed families, I've made sure that they are good. These plans and things that I'm talking about and discussing are already in the works with different organizations that we are pushing Dothan forward. We are pushing Dothan forward. We are pushing Dothan forward. One way or another, we are pushing District 2 forward. I want to be your voice. I am working to be your voice. I am taking care of the citizens of District 2. I hear what these individuals are saying, but they are saying, I just started 2 months building a relationship, or I've been in this 22 years and haven't implemented any plans or any things that they're desiring to take. What I'm saying is, check my work. Look at the work I've done. Look at the things I've done. Look at the capacity that I've done outside of working for the harbor, outside of being a pastor, outside of doing all these things. I've been here. I will continue to be here. I will be here and show up for you and be your voice and fight for you. Vote for me, Derrick Tiller, on August 5th.
All right,
thank you,
Mr. Tiller. And 1 minute, Ms. McGowan, your closing statement.
Again, my name is Dorinda McGowan, and I humbly ask for your vote on August 5th. I do want to say to all of you here and on televised, District 2, again, is very vulnerable. It's going to take time. It's going to take someone who's well-rounded. It's going to take someone who is trusting, someone who's ready to fight the battle, someone who's going to watch over whatever happens downtown. I'm going to bring it back to you so you can understand what's going on. Someone who's not afraid. And I'm telling you, if you vote for me, you'll get all of those things. I am compassionate. I'm a negotiator. I am strong. I'm not a pushover. And I will make sure that what is going on downtown, you are enlightened and you understand it. And I want you to also know that nothing gets by me very lightly. You have to understand, I've been in business all my life, and I have also raised kids on my own.
Okay, I'm going to need to call time on you, Ms. McGowan. Thank you very much for your statement.
Vote for me August 5th.
And one final closing statement, 60 seconds from Mr. Kirksey.
I think feeding people is great. However, I think it's better to teach them how to feed themselves, because they're not only taking care of themselves, but they have family, children, wives, and other people that they're responsible for. And if you feed them today, what about tomorrow or next week or the month after? Are you going to feed them every day for the rest of their lives? The answer to that would be no, but you can't afford to do so. So I also think being a public servant my entire life, and almost as long as one of my competitors has been alive, I think shows my commitment to the community, to the city, and also to anything that I'm a part of. Serving in a level of excellence, that's what I've been taught. My dad was a 30-year Army sergeant, 20-year law enforcement retired with Houston County Sheriff's Office, and now still works civil service at Fort Novacell. So we come up from a service-oriented family. My son is active duty military. My daughter's serving in Washington, D.C. policymaking with Congresswoman Sewell on an internship. So all we do is serve. So service is something I know a whole lot about and that I'm teaching the next generation, that I'm raising and teaching myself. However, District 2 has a lot of needs and a lot of unique challenges. But the problem is there hasn't been anyone there leading the way. I think I can be the one there leading the way, taking the torch, improving, and also growing the district as a whole.
All right, thank you, candidates. We appreciate that very much. And that's going to wrap up our candidates for District 2. Thank you.
Thank you, District 2 Commissioner candidates. While we transition to the next debate, I'd like to give a historic Dothan fact. Here's a fascinating piece of local history. On November 11th, 1985, citizens voted to officially incorporate and name their town Dothan, replacing the old name Poplar Head. That incorporation vote marked the city's first municipal election. Dothan's early government started small, a mayor and a handful of aldermen, but the framework established back then laid the foundation for the commission form of government we still use today. Back in 1885, the town had only a few hundred residents. Today, we're a city of over 70,000 people and the largest in the Wiregrass. The first election was the starting point for nearly 140 years of local self-governance. Tonight's debate continues that tradition, giving voters a direct voice in shaping the city's future.
Thank you, Caitlin. While we have just a moment, I will go ahead and allow our radio stations who are broadcasting the chance to identify themselves. We will pause 15 seconds to give our local radio stations a chance to identify themselves. We will stay here with you. Okay, we are back, and thank you if you're just joining us. We appreciate you watching on wiregrassdailynews.com. If you are listening on one of our radio affiliates, we thank you for listening tonight. We are about to get into District 3 Commissioner candidates coming up in just moments. So, in just a few minutes, Caitlin, I think we've had some very lively debates tonight, some very informative, some very well-prepared candidates.
Very well prepared.
And I think I would like to also remind everyone, once again, that please go out and vote. August 5th is Election Day. If you need information about your district, maybe you're unsure of what district you are living in, you can get that information. We may be sharing it right now on our screen. I'm not sure. I think we had it up a moment ago on our screen. But if not, you can go to Dothan.org and you can find out what district you live in. You can also find out where your voting places are. And if you're voting absentee ballots, you can find information about that as far as deadlines for getting the ballots and deadlines for submitting them as well. That's at Dothan.org.
Yep, and if you'll see on the screen right now, that is the district map. So if you're unsure of what district you live in, take a look at that map and you'll find out.
Okay, we're almost ready here for District 3 in just moments. Candidates are in place. Candidates, if you're ready, we'll move on.
Ready?
Okay. Go.
So we'll begin this debate with our opening statements. Candidates, you'll have 60 seconds each with your opening statements, beginning with Mr. Bedwell, or Commissioner
Great.
Bedwell, sorry.
I guess I'm already mic'd up. Okay, can you hear me? Maybe a little higher. Hey, welcome to everybody here. I appreciate all the candidates coming up. Mr. Durden, we appreciate you putting this on. I enjoy campaigning. I love it. I actually do every bit of it myself, from the actual groundwork to the social media, printing my signs, building my signs. I built 49 4x8s by myself, carried them around there. I got one campaign strategy. I just get out there in the heat of the day and try to have a stroke, and people will vote for you if you look like you're about to die out there walking. And it's been one of the greatest honors of my life the last couple of months, just walking around and seeing our district in a better shape than it was 4 years ago. We have got a lot cleaned up, and the reason I asked for a candidate was so I could get better as a candidate, but also I could see what kind of shape we're in. It looks a lot different than it did 4 years ago, thank God. But I want to talk about the future. I want to talk about the amount of any team has to have talent, and we got a great crop of candidates that could fill every position. I think with unity and also with the right help, we can really take Dothan to the next level, and that's what I'm excited about.
Thank you. Mr. Haight, your opening statement, 60 seconds.
Good morning, or good afternoon. I'm going to speak directly to the camera, just as I did at the front door of your house. When I met you, I took my sunglasses off so I could speak to you, looking you in the eyes, and be truthful with you, and so that you could understand what I want to hear from you. I will meet with you often. I listen to you. I am willing to listen to you if I'm elected. What I do know is that you have issues that I want to talk about in some of these other questions. And what I would like to say is it's not a matter of trust. It's a matter of experience in my case. I have a lot of experience. I have credentials that are very helpful and useful to the city of Dothan, and what I would like to do is demonstrate that for the next 4 years.
Thank you. Mr. Scott, your opening statement.
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me. My strategy is not to have a stroke, for people to feel sorry for me, to vote for me. My strategy is to knock doors, ask constituents, ask people of the public on what they want to see changed. While Dothan has improved since I was a child, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Poverty has increased. The cost of living has affected multiple families, as well as families in our district. The city released their report last week, the 2025 to 2029 report. The cost of living has affected families by 2%. It's an increase. My campaign is to involve yourselves to bring that cost of living down, create better economic income for individuals, as well as to include your voice in votes that are non-essential to the city. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have 4 questions for you, and we're going to start in reverse alphabetical order with you, Mr. Scott.
Okay.
Question number 1, what infrastructure upgrades do you see as critical to support both industry and residential growth in District 3?
Okay, industry and residential growth, infrastructure. One thing, as I knock the doors, a lot of people in our district, especially in Clovedale, mentioned that there's flooding. They have brought it up to the city multiple times, and the roads still flood. So I'd like to fix the flooding infrastructure as far as roads go. Also, as far as residential growth, our district right now is the district that has the most homes for sale. So I believe that by tackling economic problems and bringing greater household income, you're able to have builders, contractors come in, develop land, create the American dream for multiple families, and it benefits the city. Also, as well as our district has a quite elderly population, so there's things that can be addressed with them as well as far as infrastructure, such as speed bumps, stop signs, and making sure that they're taken care of in that manner. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. Okay, the question for you, Mr. Haight, what infrastructure upgrades do you see as critical to support both industry and residential growth in District 3?
Some of the upgrades that are happening right now on Main Street is digging up 100-year-old sewer and water lines to be replaced. They're failing, and if we don't replace infrastructure, the community will fail. The roads, when I listen to folks talk to me about the roads, they say they have to do a front-end alignment when they drive the streets. And what I will tell you is resurfacing programs like are being done now are actually beneficial to the entire community. I'm not a fan of speed bumps, but my whole neighborhood has speed bumps all throughout the neighborhood. And what I would tell you is there are places where we could do a lot better with signage and with narrowing of some of the lanes so that it's inherent that traffic would move slowly. I think probably that our roads are being improved, and they're markedly being improved as we speak.
All right, thank you. And Commissioner Bedwell, the question for you is what infrastructure upgrades do you see as critical to support both industry and residential growth in District 3?
Well, that's where you need to be strong at as the District 3 Commissioner. We have road surfacing plans, we have everything else, and we actually just come out with a road surfacing plan to make sure that our district is getting just as much paved as 4, 5, 6, 1, and 2. But the great thing about our district is we got to look toward the future and see where we want to go, but there's a lot of areas that make our area of town very unique and very great, like Eddins Road, Saunders Road. So we, as we're building network and infrastructure to get more residential in there, and I'd like to see more senior, living houses and lower cost, in that angle. We also got to keep in mind that we need to be building to get residential and industry in at the same time. So it's a fine balance of having a relationship with the other commissioners and also having a relationship with the city manager and staff to make sure that your district moves forward.
All right, thank you very much. Caitlin?
Question 2 will begin with Commissioner Bedwell. What role should public input play in approving large developments, and how will you ensure all residents are heard?
And then, can you repeat that one more time? It went low in the middle.
Yes, sir. What role should public input play in approving large developments, and how will you ensure all residents are heard?
This is simple. You take Waterworld, for example. I think that's how they should do all public projects. Hey, do you think we ought to lease this thing out to somebody? Do you think we ought to put this big chunk of money in it? Or do you think we ought to do nothing and just leave it? It was losing money every year. Public come back and voted and said, we want to invest money in it. I think that's how you really ought to do it every time, personally.
Thank you. Mr. Haight, same question. What role should public input play in approving large developments, and how will you ensure all residents are heard?
I'm a listener, and I think we ought to start every project by listening to the citizens' concerns, set priorities not just based on cost, but also based on their concerns, their willingness to pay. I've taught planning for 30 years, planning courses for cities, and our stock and trade is to listen and set priorities for the future. We plan for the future. And I have taught my students that we are planners that have an optimistic viewpoint for the future. Why else would you plan? And you have to have a pessimistic viewpoint also, because you have to understand what can go wrong. So if we are going to do a big project, we better set priorities right up front and make sure that it makes sense to the citizens, but also to the budget.
Thank you. Mr. Scott, same question. What role should public input play in approving large developments, and how will you ensure all residents are heard?
That is a very good question. I personally have knocked doors and have had my constituents and other constituents throughout the district state that they do not have their voices heard. So I believe that we should, as a commission, I believe that we should take the information from our constituents, also talk about it amongst ourselves, and from there draft plans of action, present that to our constituents, such as on the Dothan.org website, and those constituents can vote on what's the priority for themselves. So I think that involving people that pay taxes, that we pool their money together, and that's what city is, involving them so that it's one vote, one voice, and the majority rules. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to start with Mr. Scott on this question. What steps do you believe need to be taken to address the root causes of crime, such as poverty, mental health, and youth engagement beyond just policing?
Well, firsthand experience, my father was a deputy for 15 years under the great Grady Judd. So I don't believe that the law enforcement's role is to be a superhero. They're reactionary, so it starts at home. 53% of suicides are economic related. So I believe that we need to have plans of action to corral different ideas from the city to create economic opportunities. These opportunities can come from a system such as Conway Project Database. It's an intelligent database that shows different businesses that are looking to expand their operations, their facilities, et cetera. And today, Nido Tires in Frankfort, Kentucky, opened a new facility that's starting pays $20 an hour. So I personally believe if you tackle the economic side of a city's problem, you can also deter and rid the city of crime. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. The question for you, Mr. Haight. What steps do you believe need to be taken to address the root causes of crime, such as poverty, mental health, and youth engagement beyond just policing?
It's not easy. It starts at home, and we can't help parents raise their kids. We can enforce what they do when they're out on their own. And what I will tell you is I think it's important for our police officers to actually ride the neighborhood, know the constituents, and actually understand what their needs are. I don't think we can feed them, but we have programs that do that. We have unbelievable churches in this town and unbelievable services that can help the situation. We have ways to feed individuals. We have uplifting events for the young to take part in. And I do believe that we should challenge both the parents but also the churches to help with this situation. If I'm elected, I will listen and I will hear what you say. Come to me and I will act on your behalf.
Okay, thank you. And for you, Commissioner Bedwell, what steps do you believe need to be taken to address the root causes of crime, such as poverty, mental health, and youth engagement beyond just policing?
You know, the last 4 years as commissioner, whenever your sales tax exceeds what you budgeted by $60 million, it's a pretty simple job. Now that inflation stopped and everything's kind of come in, you know, the sales tax has come stagnant. I think what we need to do to address that issue is what we need to do anyway. We need to really look at that budget and see how much benefit we're getting from every item we're doing. How many employees we have, how many, what are we paying this to, what are we paying that to? And really look and see if there's 7 kids going to this camp and that's it, and there's a bunch of employees here, could you move that money over somewhere that we had more of a societal benefit with a combined effort that I keep talking about between the 6 commissioners and the mayor to make Dothan an overall better place. And only the other thing you can do is just show the kids love whenever you can, because that's what's really going to change it, and work with the school board where you can, and because that's where a lot of it started. I got a saying, you can either pay for them now or you can pay for them later. You know what I mean? So we're going to start investing.
All right, thank you, candidates. Caitlin?
Question 4 is a community question from Charles. Commissioner Bedwell, I have Monday scheduled trash and garbage pickup, and there have been holidays recently where the city website shows there won't be garbage collection because of a holiday, but the trucks are out doing pickups anyway. Is there garbage and trash collection on holidays? If so, what can be done to better convey this information to the public?
And all that information is actually on our website, but also whenever that information is conveyed, we send it through HOA and other things, let it know. But as a commission, we have tried to have an app where not only they can send those requests in when the trash don't get picked up, but it shows schedules like that as well. So so that's something we can actually work with the Vincent community director and other people and try to get that information out better. If that's the reason I love this job. It kind of shows what we're doing. If that's the biggest community question, is they're picking up trash on holidays when they ain't supposed to, I think I'm doing all right.
Thank you. Mr. Haight, same question. I have Monday scheduled trash and garbage pickup, and there have been holidays recently where the city website shows there won't be garbage collection because of a holiday, but the trucks are out doing pickups anyway. Is there garbage and trash collection on holidays? If so, what can be done to better convey this information to the public?
That's a good question about misinformation. I live in a very large neighborhood. The very large neighborhood has an HOA, and they are very effective at getting the word out to when the trash pickup will occur. Our residents aren't very good at taking the trash barrels back to their house. And so what I will tell you is they've become kind of an obstacle. They're strewn all over the street after pickup. And so there is a little bit of information that could be conveyed to citizens, not just on picking up trash on holidays, but putting your trash container back to your house so it's not a nuisance in the street.
Thank you. Mr. Scott, same question. I have Monday scheduled trash and garbage pickup, and there have been holidays recently where the city website shows there won't be garbage collection because of a holiday, but the trucks are out doing pickups anyway. Is there garbage and trash collection on holidays? If so, what can be done to better convey this information to the public?
Thank you. And the person that asked the question's name was Charles?
Charles.
Charles. Okay. As Commissioner Bedwell said, there's an app, and I think that we need to make or bring more awareness to said app. Until today, I didn't know there's an app for our district. So I believe that using public sources such as the city's social media accounts, such as the city's website, such as the commission on the city's website, there's something for each commission. So I believe that posting those updates, as well as maybe sending out a flyer when someone moves into a new house that states there's an app, this is the days for the trash collection, et cetera, et cetera. If that was done, then Charles wouldn't be asking us this question tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, closing statements, and we'll start with Mr. Scott. You have 60 seconds.
Okay, I'm not very good at public speaking, but I do believe in a better future for us all. So I'm going to talk about what my day one would look like. First day as city commissioner, I would call upon Sheriff Valenza, Captain Police Chief Will Benny. I'd call all the other commissioners in. I'd call in the heads of the school board. I'd also call in pastors such as Dr. Ricky Plummer with Bethel Baptist, also the Delvecchias at Christ International Church. I'd lock us all in a room, and we'd sit, and lastly, the DA, I'd lock us all in the room, and there's 3 things that we're leaving that room solving. 1 is crime. 2 is how nonprofit organizations and faith-based organizations such as churches can help also improve the community. And the last thing is economics. So that would be my first day, and my second day would be implementing those plans that everyone came together to contribute to. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Scott. Closing statement, 60 seconds. Mr. Haight.
I spent a lot of time in a classroom talking about planning. I am a planner. I'm a city planner, a transportation planner, and I'm going to speak directly to you in the camera again. I spoke to you at your front door. I listened. I heard what you think the most important issues are for you. One of them is traffic and road construction. I think that it takes patience for those things to occur, and what I can do is convey my information, my experience, my credentials to you as a commissioner. I also really truly believe that we need to listen more. And if we have the opportunity to have city commission meetings where the room is small, I attend the city commission meetings, and there's probably 14 or 15 citizens that are there that are not doing a job to be there. They don't have to be there. So we don't have citizen participation in city commission meetings, and I think we could do better.
All right, thank you. 60 seconds, your closing statement, Commissioner Bedwell.
Actually, I pay for all this myself. I don't want to owe anybody anything. I have taken the last 4 years to really learn what I'm doing and to actually build political capital. And if you decide to re-elect me, I humbly ask for your vote. I will make my next 4 years a lot better. I want to not only improve our education system, I want to work with economic development. I really want to dive into downtown. During this election cycle, I've taken the time and listened to every district to see what their problems, because they're different than mine, especially 1 and 2. So I would like to be a bridge on the commission and really help us all work together with the mayor to take already a great place that I love and I'll fight for every day, but really us work together, and it's always like I said, each of us are good at different things. Like, you ain't got to worry about traffic lights, so Crutchfield's got it. Take all of us with what we know and work together and figure out, if we're spending money, what's the best way forward and make this the best place ever.
All right, thank you very much, candidates. We appreciate that. Okay, we're going to transition now and into our next panel that'll be coming up in just moments. If you're just joining us, we are doing something that's never been done before. This is a very new thing to us, so we're all kind of learning this together, but I hope it's informative for you. We have several sponsors that we want to thank for helping us put this on. Number 1, we'd like to thank Durden Outdoor for hosting this event. They've done a great job providing a wonderful facility. We thank them for hosting this. And if you're sitting here, whenever this is finished, you might want to get up and walk around and look at some of the really interesting displays that they have here inside of their museum. It's like walking through the history of Dothan just by walking through here. They have incredible signs, billboards, neon displays from iconic Dothan businesses like Shenanigans, Denny Vision, Davis Theaters, Dothan Coca-Cola Bottling Company. And this month they're curating the Dothan Murals collections, and they're on the wall across from where you're sitting, audience over here. And after this is finished, I encourage you to get up and go and browse those exhibits. They are very interesting. And you can see where some of the murals that you're used to seeing on the walls, where the inspiration came from and the original artwork for those. So I encourage you to do that. We'll give you goosebumps and an inspiring trip down Dothan's memory lane. We didn't even mention the fully restored 1949 Ford pickup truck, like the one Mr. Earl drove when he first started the business. It's there in the corner. Sits a 1964 and a half Mustang, and yes, it is red. Since 1968, Durden Outdoor Displays has been making you famous with over 1,000 billboards, including 30 digital boards from Troy to Mariana, Enterprise to Dothan, Eufaula, and Ozark. Durden can always find you a billboard that fits your budget and your needs. So check them out, all at DurdenOutdoor.com. And they encourage you to be famous. Don't you want to be famous? Okay. Are we ready? Okay, let's introduce our next panelist here. This will be District 4 Commissioner candidates. We have Mr. Josh Chapman and Mr. Dave Stock. We have 60 seconds for your opening statements, and we'll begin with Mr. Chapman.
Thank you. First off, thank you to Durden for having us here tonight, and also for Wiregrass Daily News for putting this event on. I'm running for Dothan City Commission here in District 4 because I believe in the potential of Dothan. Dothan is a good place. I moved here almost 11 years ago. My wife's from here. Moved here and was quickly sucked into the energy of Dothan. People in this community care about this community, and I quickly knew that this was my home. Got involved, served a lot with local nonprofits, and very active in my local church. Really knew it was my home. I want to help take Dothan from being good to being great. I believe that we're getting close to our potential. I grew up playing baseball, and I once attended a baseball camp, and a coach told me about the last 10%. And when you're throwing a baseball, the last 10% is really flicking that wrist, and it really generates that extra velocity that separates you from other players. I feel like Dothan, we're on that last 10%. So I want to help take Dothan to the next level. I believe in the potential of Dothan.
I'm going to need to call time on
yes, sir.
There. Thank you very much.
Yep.
And now we're going to have an opening statement from Mr. Stock.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I just want to say thank you again for being here tonight. We're the last group of commissioners, and I'm really proud to be here. I love Dothan. I have loved Dothan since my wife and I first met here almost 25 years ago when the Army brought me to flight training in the Wiregrass. When we moved away, we knew we were going to come back to Dothan. And 13 years ago, we came back and we said, this is our home. This is where we're going to be for the rest of our adult life. We love it. We've had awesome experiences all around the world. We have managed major programs. We have started businesses. We have invested in Dothan. You invest in a place that you love, and we love Dothan. I'm going to work hard to bring common sense to everything that we do in this city and this commission. I'm going to work hard to bring actual solutions and real results. I'm going to work hard to bring education up to where it needs to be. If we're going to have a strong city, we need to have strong education. I'm going to bring that. The only way to get out of poverty, the only way to bring yourself up in life is for education and experience. I'm going to bring that to Dothan. I'm going to ask for your vote tonight. I'm going to work hard for you every day. Thank you.
Okay, we have questions for you, and we're going to let Caitlin start with the first one.
First question is for Mr. Stock. Several older neighborhoods across our community struggle with overgrown lots and blight. How will you strengthen code enforcement with resident input?
I've seen that. I've been campaigning all around Dothan, all around District 4, just talking to folks, and I've seen that. And we have some homeowners who have been here for for decades, and they love their communities. And some of these homes are very modest, but they love their communities. We've got to work with our neighborhood enhancement team, and we have to get out there and communicate, and we have to work hard with our residents who do care and show them that we care. We can't let them just be in despair saying the city's not going to do anything about it. Our property values, our pride in our neighborhood, crime, all those things happen when you have an area that's starting to show that blight. So I think we have to make it a priority for our neighborhood enhancement team. I think we also have to make sure that our residents know you've got someone you can call. As your commissioner, I want you to call me with those issues. I want to solve those problems. If I'm not there solving problems for you, then why am I here? So I want to be your representative. I want to solve those problems. I want to work with neighborhood enhancement, and I want to make all of Dothan look better, because that's going to make everyone's quality of life every day better. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Chapman, same question. Several older neighborhoods across our community struggle with overgrown lots and blight. How will you strengthen code enforcement with resident input?
Absolutely, great question. So for the last 5-6 months, I have been talking with people in District 4 day in and day out, every single day. And something that one of the common issues that I hear is, hey, my neighbor is not taking care of their lawn, there's weeds getting out of control, and it's bringing down the value of my property, my neighbor's property, who take pride in what we own. And so, yes, neighborhood enhancement, that program that was developed, I believe 3-4 years ago, was a great step in the right direction from the planning department. And so, huge supporter in what those guys do. I see their trucks driving around town all the time. They're hard at work making sure that Dothan is a beautiful place, and that people who take pride in our community have someone to call and someone to depend on to help them monitor and help them take care of a community and a subdivision that they have pride in.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to stick with Mr. Chapman for our next question. How do you plan to work with first responders and public works to address speeding, lighting, and crime hotspots?
Speeding, lighting, and crime hotspots. I'll point out public works. I used to be an engineer with the city of Dothan. I was an engineer for three years in engineering services, so public works fell underneath, public works department, engineering services in there. So very familiar with the job that they do. I've gotten a lot of feedback from folks saying that, hey, the posted speed limit right here is 25 miles an hour, and there's people up and down our roadways doing 50 and 60 miles per hour. So we need to do a better job of policing local streets, making sure, I've had people tell me, hey, at 5:15 every day, there's a car that comes down. And so I want to know about these things. I want to be ears for issues that people are dealing with, lighting, whatever the issue may be. I want people to feel comfortable calling me. That's why I'm giving out my cell phone number to everybody, 334-232-9455. I want to know about the issues so that way we as a community can tackle each issue you're dealing with.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Stock, same question for you. How do you plan to work with first responders and public works to address speeding, lighting, and crime hotspots?
Well, I'll start with lighting. Lighting is probably one of the most inexpensive things that we can do, but it makes one of the most dramatic impacts. There are many areas of our downtown and other areas that just have very poor lighting situations, and so people don't feel safe being there. So I think we should identify those areas, increase the lighting, and that's going to help not only keep people from committing crime in those areas, but probably require less officers in those areas that are there today. I think we also need to look at how many more officers we need to really be effective in our communities. South Park is a great example. I've talked to many residents on South Park, and they can barely pull out of their driveways because people are flying down there 50, 60 miles an hour. That's a safety hazard for many residents in our area. So right away, we have to have some better enforcement. What's the point in having rules and laws if we don't enforce those? I think having more officers would be very beneficial for that. And then communicating with our citizens like, hey, we're not just trying to give you a hard time, but we have real safety concerns, real issues. So I think if we can work with the police, hire some more officers, communicate better, increase our lighting, we'll see a safer community overall for all of our residents. Thank you.
Thank you.
Question 3 for Mr. Stock. How should the city prioritize improvements in parks, playgrounds, sports fields, walking trails, or are there other priorities that should be addressed over these?
That's a great question. I think we have some of the best parks in the area, to be quite honest, but I don't believe that they're accessible to everybody in all parts of the city. In areas of District 4, we have the wilderness trails that are over there right on the edge of 4 and 5. Some other areas of our district have Westgate Parkway or other things, sports fields, there's Eastgate, so there's good resources, but not everybody can access those resources. So I do think there's some areas we can probably do a little bit better, but for the most part, I think we're doing pretty good. It's how can we find the areas that are underserved, that we could probably provide some more parks and recreation areas, maybe some more community centers. I want to make sure that our students, our youth, that they have an area to go and they can have fun and they can create memories with their families or their friends, a place where they can honestly stay out of trouble. We want to make sure that we're lowering our crime, that we're increasing our quality of education in schools, and having good parks and resources, walking trails. Those are all things that are going to help our quality of life across the city, and it's going to give our youth something to do. It's also going to be something that people want to come back to Dothan if we have those things. So I'm fully supportive of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Chapman, same question. How should the city prioritize improvements in parks, playgrounds, sports fields, walking trails, or are there other priorities that should be addressed over these?
Absolutely, great question. So in our region, in the Wiregrass area, I think we have the top notch. We are the best when it comes to parks and recreation. I think instead of investing in additional assets, I think we really need to focus on maintaining what we have. I coach coach's pitch, and I play out at Westgate Park, and there's a lip on the end of the infield where that has eroded over time. And I've seen multiple kids take a ball off the eye because the ball hits the lip and it pops up and hits them in the face. So I really think little things like that, we really need to invest in maintaining what we have. I will say, I think we need to focus on other priorities. Instead of investing in additional sports field, walking trails, money needs to be spent elsewhere. I really do think we need to invest more in our young people. Our school system is not trending in the right direction. And the funds that were appropriated last year for Dothan City schools equated to 3.26 of the school system's 3.26% of the school system's annual budget. That shows that we're not investing enough in our young people.
Thank you.
Okay, our next question is a community question. This comes from William, and we're going to start with Mr. Chapman here. Here's William's question. As 50,000 cars a day go through the Main Street, North Oates intersection, is the idea to decrease that road from a 4-lane to a 2-lane road a good idea? I would imagine that would cause a huge bottleneck. What do you think?
Yes, I love this question. Like I mentioned, I was a civil engineer for 10 years. This is right in my sweet spot. So Tommy Wright, the Public Works Director, extremely competent. His background is traffic engineering. He's conducting models. Hopefully, we'll have something to the general public to show exactly how this will work if the commission decides to move forward with this. So I Googled last week, I Googled how long it takes to get from Southeast Health to Flowers Hospital going down Main Street. It's 16 minutes. If you require that they go around the circle, it's 18 minutes. So we're talking, if you take the circle versus Main Street right now, it's a difference in 2 minutes in travel time. So I'm not in favor one way or the other in the road diet. I'm just saying we need to keep an open mind. Now is the best time, as someone alluded to earlier, we're about to resurface Main Street. And so if we want to test it out, now is the optimum time to do that. And so I trust city staff. I trust the data that we're getting from them to be accurate. We have competent staff. So we'll allow them to do their job and give us the data the commission needs to make an effective decision.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll repeat that two-part question for you, Mr. Stock. The question from William, as 5,000 cars a day go through the Main Street North Oates intersection, is the idea to decrease that road from a 4-lane to a 2-lane road a good idea? I would imagine that it would cause a huge bottleneck. What do you think?
I would just tell you unequivocally that I would not support this idea. I would not. If you think about from the concept of road traffic, there are so many businesses along Main Street today that count on that road traffic. McDonald's, Jack's, CVS, you name it, small mom and pop shops, they count on that road traffic. To sit there and say, we're going to take that from this volume, 25, 50,000, and try to take it down to maybe 5 or 10 and force all that traffic around the circle, those businesses are going to shut down. Those employees that work there are going to lose their jobs. This is not just about Main Street. We can't just focus on one small part. I love downtown. I've got a lot of my own, interest in investment downtown. But doing something like this is going to kill jobs. It is going to cause huge traffic. If you live in, the Garden District and you have to go to Southeast Health, and it's not going to be quicker to go all the way back out to the circle and around town. We have to think about our constituents. As your commissioner, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of my ability to analyze this, look out for business, look out for our residents, and make sure we're making smart decisions. We went from 2 lanes downtown to 4 for a reason, like 40 years ago. Going back's not going to make it better. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
So each candidate now will have 60 seconds for their closing statements, beginning with Mr. Stock.
All right, well, thank you again for listening to us tonight. I'm self-funding my campaign because I believe in this mission that I'm on right now to be your next commissioner. I'm doing it so you all know I'm working for you. This is going to cost almost $25,000, but the reason I'm doing it is because I want to make sure that when you have a commissioner, I'm not bought and paid for by PACs across this state, by big wealthy development companies or whatnot. So that's not what you get with me. Also, I committed early on that I was going to donate my salary to local youth charities. I even told you which ones. The reason why, it's not some tagline. It's not a tagline. Okay, what it is because I care about our community. I care about our inner city kids who are struggling every day. And the Lord has blessed me very much. And I want to give back to our community. I want to serve our community. So my giving my salary away is to help those nonprofits that need that money. I'm going to be your advocate, someone you can call, someone who will fight for you, someone who's going to look out for small business. I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to make sure that everything I do is with honesty and integrity. And at the end of the day, if you need help, I will be there to answer that call. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Chapman, 60 seconds for your closing statement.
Sure. I've talked a little bit tonight about my professional background and how it would make me an effective commissioner. More importantly, I have a heart to serve the people of Dothan. If you look at my civic resume, I've served on many boards. I love more than anything rolling my sleeves up, getting my hands dirty, and working on projects in the city to make them better. I promise to be the ears. Leadership, the most important thing in leadership is communication. The Bible commands us to be slow to speak and quick to listen. So I want your feedback. I want your ideas. I want your input on anything that you're uncertain about or anything that you're concerned about. Like I mentioned, I am involved in many civic groups and nonprofits. My wife and I moved here 11 years ago. We have given to local nonprofits. We have a giving heart. I didn't put it on a billboard saying that I was going to donate my salary. This is something that we do out of the goodness of our heart because we feel it's right. So August 5th, please vote for Josh Chapman.
Thank you. Well, thank you, District 4 Commissioners.
Thank you very much.
As we transition into the next debate, I'd like to thank one of our sponsors, Wiregrass Daily News. Tonight's debate is brought to you in part by Wiregrass Daily News, your fastest, most reliable source for local news across the Wiregrass. From breaking stories to community events, our team of reporters keep you connected with what's happening right here in the Wiregrass. Whether you're reading an article about the latest political news in Dothan or watching our Facebook Live from a breaking news event, Wiregrass Daily News will make sure you are informed about your community. Every day, thousands of readers turn to Wiregrass Daily News for trusted, timely updates. And with Election Day in the city of Dothan just around the corner, Wiregrass Daily News will be your source for live results on August 5th. Our team will be on the ground at polling locations, bringing you the numbers as soon as they come in, along with expert analysis from our live election night stream. Don't miss a single update. Bookmark wiregrassdailynews.com, follow us on Facebook, sign up for our daily news emails, and be ready for the most comprehensive local election coverage in the Wiregrass. Wiregrass Daily News, your community, your voice.
As we're getting ready for our next candidates, I will Remind you that Election Day is August 5th. If you have questions about which district you live in, you can get that information, find out. Just go to dothan.org. You can also find out polling locations within your district as well. Polls will be open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on that day. There's also information there pertaining to absentee ballots. If you're going to be voting an absentee ballot, you can get deadline information there on getting the ballots and on submitting the ballots and where you would take those ballots to. So all that information will be, some of it on your screen right now. I believe we have some maps on the screen for those of you viewing on wiregrassdailynews.com. And you can get that on the website dothan.org.
I'd like to introduce the mayoral candidates, Mr. Jimmy McCray and Mayor Mark Saliba. You will each have 90 seconds for your opening statements, beginning with Mr. McCray.
Hi, I'm Jimmy McCray, and I'm from Dothan, Alabama. I'm an ex-military, ex-cop. I lived here all my life. I'm also an entrepreneur, business owner, okay? I lived here all my life, born and raised. I've always been told what I couldn't do. I'm not a believer of what I can't do. I'm a believer of what I can do. And today, I'm up against my greatest battle, which is John Saliba, okay? His name is a giant compared to my name, so yes, it's a David versus Goliath, but just like David, I am armed with the highest power from my Heavenly Father. I have my bow and my rock, and I'm aiming, and I'm ready. And I need your vote on August the 5th to release that so we can win this and put Dothan in the right position to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor Saliba, your opening statement.
Thank you, and thanks to Wiregrass Daily News, and thanks to Durden Sign for making this possible tonight. Thank you for all coming out tonight, and those that you are listening in on live stream. It really does show that you do care about what's going on in our city, and I'm grateful for that as well. I've heard a lot about change over the last few months as we began this campaign election cycle. George Bernard Shaw said that change for change's sake is a path to nowhere. Without proper leadership, without proven leadership, without vision of where we are going, where we have been, it is just is what we need to be doing moving forward. So I'm asking you to vote for me again, to be your next mayor. We have made great strides, economic development, workforce development, progress in our city. I think you've heard a lot of the candidates already tonight speaking on all of that. They all agree that we have made great strides. There are some areas that we do have challenges in. Every good city and every good family has some challenges that we need to address, and I'm here to continue to address those as well. I appreciate your votes in the past, putting me into office, and I look forward to serving you again. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Our first question, we're going to stay with Mayor Saliba for this first question. What specific steps would you take in the next 4 years to reduce violent crime in Dothan?
Violent crime, no matter how many, we always look at violent crime, and it's so personal. I think that when we look at the violent crime that happens in and around of our state, and particularly in our city, it doesn't matter if it's one person that's shot or one particular crime that's happened. It's important that it's just happened. I think that you will find that over the last 8 years, this commissions, or the 2 commissions that have been here, have fully funded all of our police department as well. We have spent the money on the proper tools that they need to do their jobs in the best way they can. I think that we need to continue to fully fund them and give them the proper tools that they need. You know, I think that again, we have studied over the last 4 years. They've just done a study, and in the last 5 years, crime has come down in our city by 14%. I know that anytime we hear about a shot that's taken place or something that's happened in our city, it's broadcasted all over. But we are not a Birmingham and a Montgomery and some of the larger cities. We are Dothan, Alabama, and even though public safety is one of our #1 concerns, I do know and feel like that we have a very safe city. Thank you.
Thank you. Same question for you, Mr. McCray. What specific steps would you take in the next 4 years to reduce violent crime in Dothan? You have 90 seconds.
Well, unlike James, Saliba, we got to get to the root of what's causing the violence of the crime. It's not about hiring or funding the police department because they're well funded and we have enough police officers. It's about rehabilitating. It's about mentoring, showing our youth a different way, a positive way, showing and giving them hope into what could be instead of what is. Unlike Mr. James, who have neglected certain neighborhoods and certain districts and pretty much pulled all the fundings from that district, so those individuals have no hope or no aspiration of what could be. I will pour into that community. I will continue to pour into Dothan because I do believe that being mayor of Dothan is just not being mayor of a certain part of Dothan, it's being mayor of all of Dothan. So when he tells you that he cares about somebody being shot, ask him, did you go visit that family that suffered that shooting? No. But I did, and I have, and I will continue to do that. Why? Because I care about Dothan, and I care about our youth. This is not a platform for me to get up here and say nice, pretty things. I'm not a politician. I am a working man, come from the community, and I love Dothan, and I will invest into our youth, and I will get to the bottom of the crime.
Okay, thank you.
Question 2 is for Mr. McCray. What actions need to be taken to ensure Dothan is as attractive as possible for future large economic development projects?
Simple. Simple question. Good one. Dothan is located in a prime real estate area, okay? We attract a lot of people from north part of the state that come down to Florida. How about this? Everybody that live in Dothan always say there's nothing here in Dothan that's attractive. How about we bring something powerful to Dothan, such as a amusement park or a real water park? Put it on the south side of Dothan. Let's bring up the south side of Dothan because the south side needs to reflect the north side as well as the east side and the west side. Now, a large water park or amusement park, that's very attractive, right? Okay, because we go to Florida and spend our money all day long at the beaches. How about we keep that money here in Dothan so we can have money to fund our schools, police, mental ill, hospitals, and so on. Let's not keep putting this money in our pockets. Let's put it into the community and invest into our youth. Let's not say it, let's do it.
Thank you. Mayor Saliba, same question for you. What actions need to be taken to ensure Dothan is as attractive as possible for future large economic development projects?
Well, we have been very successful over the past 8 years, especially in attracting a lot of the large economic development opportunities. We've had multiple announcements. We're on the cusp of having some more announcements. But I think that you have to know that what our collaboration with the Chamber of Commerce and the work that we do with them, making sure that we have industrial sites that are shovel ready. So we have continued to invest in those, and we have Westgate Industrial Park is full. Sam Houston is filling up. We have a lot of industrial development on Hodgesville Road on that side of town, where just this past year, $90 million worth of investment was done at Smartland and Peak Renewables. We are doing our super site, which is one of the best sites in the state of Alabama, which was funded and asked by our state Department of Commerce to please help us find a super site in the city limits of Dothan, Alabama. That site alone could bring a $1 billion impact to our city. And these aren't just jobs that are minimum wage. We are in a position right now to bring in jobs that are better than that are a livable wage. And so we are positioning ourselves and have positioned ourselves to continue to have some economic development wins. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to remind our candidates one of the pre-agreed to rules in the debate tonight would be that all candidates will stay behind the podiums at all times, so we would appreciate that. Okay, our next question, and we're going to start with Mayor Saliba on this question. What is your long-term vision for downtown Dothan, and how do you plan to fund that vision?
It's a great question, and I know this one that's on a lot of people's mind is fiscal responsibility and stewardship. And we have just completed the Opera House, and the Events Plaza next door to it should be finished probably by the end of August. The Wiregrass Innovation Center will be done by February of 26. The thing that we need to keep in mind as well is that we had a large donor that made a donation to the Opera House of $10 million to help fund that. I see State Representative Lee that's here in the audience tonight. We are grateful to our state legislature for providing $20 million and a Wiregrass Foundation for another 10 to fund the building of the Wiregrass Innovation Center. So that building is basically paid off. We've made great strides in looking for other monies as well. From Innovate Alabama, they put $350,000 in our efforts at the Wiregrass Innovation Center. As we move forward, yes, we need to make sure that our debt service does not get beyond a place that we cannot handle. And that's the number that we have to continue to look at, is that debt service number. We have to have great relationships with our state delegation and our federal delegation, our senators and our representatives in the United States. And those are relationships that I have developed over the last 8 years. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. Same question for you, Mr. McCray. What is your long-term vision for downtown Dothan, and how do you plan to fund that vision?
Well, my long-term vision for the downtown of Dothan is to see it grow and become a metropolis that it should be. To fund it, of course, you have to go through grants and private entities and so on. But unlike James here,
Mayor Saliba.
Unlike James here, Mayor James, okay, he failed to tell you how much the city is pouring into downtown, okay? It's the reason why he did that. Transparency isn't a thing for him, okay? So when you ask how is it funded, it's gonna be funded by you guys as citizens. If you guys allow him to win this election, mark my word, he is going to raise city taxes on you guys. That's a secret he got in his back pocket, and he knows it. That's why he didn't tell you about how much the city is pouring into downtown. It sounds good when he starts telling you all this wonderful stuff, who put money here, who put money there. No, tell us what the city put into downtown, because downtown sits in where? Dothan. How much are the citizens paying for this? That's the most important question. Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's make a change in this city. Let's start by having transparency. I see my time is up.
Thank you.
Question 4 is for Mr. McCray. Dothan citizens have become very familiar with road work over the years. What are your infrastructure priorities, particularly related to roads, public transit, and utilities as Dothan continues to grow?
So again, I'm gonna start with the public transit, because I feel like we need to revamp that to where it fits every citizen, not just those that can get on the bus, but we need to have it accessible to all citizens, because that's how we make a greater Dothan. Also, when we start talking about the roads, you gotta understand which roads are we talking about and how much is that causing the city to fix. We have a lot of road work here in the city, and I'm sorry, it's kind of hard to see the question again. Can you repeat that question one more time?
Yes. Dothan citizens have become very familiar with road work over the years. What are your infrastructure priorities, particularly related to roads, public transit, and utilities as Dothan continues to grow? Okay, so of course we want to widen the roads to make it accessible to those that use the road, that's walking and bike trails, and the bus systems as well. So to continue to keep growing Dothan in the right direction, we have to continue to put money to our infrastructure, as far as the roads and so on. Thank you. Mayor Saliba, same question. Dothan citizens have become very familiar with road work over the years. What are your infrastructure priorities, particularly related to roads, public transit, and utilities as Dothan continues to grow?
Thank you for the question. And first and foremost, I want to say that I'm thankful for the patience that you've had out there as citizens on the road work that's going on. And I know it is inconvenient. And I know that there probably has been some suffering of sales tax revenues coming into some of the places. And we are very cognizant of that and very compassionate about that as well. We as a commission know how important sales tax revenue is. But we have to continue to work on our road infrastructure. Again, 75% of every dollar that comes into the city is a sales tax revenue dollar. We have to make sure that those 105 and 450,000 potential customers that coming into the city can get into our city and do business and increase our abilities for economic development as well. So I think that we're going to have to continue to do that. You just have to know that we're always going to have to be spending money on infrastructure, whether that is the utilities, electricity, and water, and sewer. We're always going to have monies that are spent on that and are spending it on that. And so just be patient with us. Most of these projects are about done. Public transit is an extremely difficult topic and issue to fix. If you look at any city of our size, it usually takes one that's a little bit larger until we can crack down on that. But it is one that I think that we do need to solve over the next 4 to 5 years.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Our final question is a community question. This comes from Dean, and we're going to start with you, Mayor Saliba. Dean wants to know what partnerships, regional, state, and federal, will be the most important for achieving your goals?
Well, first and foremost, again, relationships in our state and our nation is extremely important to achieve the vision and the things that we really want to get done. And so I think that my relationships with our state legislator, knowing the governor by the first name, Lieutenant Governor, Nathaniel Ledbetter, the Speaker of the House, Garland Gudger, all of those that are have the ability to help us get funds here. Having meetings over the last several years with Senator Britt when she took over Shelsby's and Senator Tuberville, as well as Representative Moore. Those are the kind of connections that we have to have moving forward to achieve all of the goals that I think that we need to do. I think, again, one of the things, the partnerships we have that's been so instrumental in getting a lot of the things that we get done here our kudos go to Matt Parker and the Chamber of Commerce. Without them as a partner in our city, in our area, regionally as well, we would not be as successful as we have been over the last and even longer 8 years. And so I'm grateful for the Chamber of Commerce as well in the partnership that we have with them. And thank you for the question.
All right, thank you. Same question for you, Mr. McCray. This is a question from Dean who wants to know what partnerships, regional, state, and federal, will be the most important for achieving your goals?
So in keeping with what Mark said, I agree. Partnership with those that he named are very important. So there's no need for me to reiterate that. But the one thing that he failed to tell you or say is that it takes a go-getter, someone that doesn't bow down or bow out from a fight. Okay, somebody that's a go-getter, I'd never say no, don't take no for an answer. One that keeps Dothan in front of our partners that he named and keep Dothan vision first. As President Trump always liked to say, America first, let's take that slogan and say Dothan first, okay? So with that being said, as long as we have a go-getter as myself occupying the mayor's office, we will always keep Dothan first, keep that partnership, striving to be better than what it is now.
Thank you very much. And now 90 seconds for your closing, and we'll continue to stay with Mr. McCray first.
Great. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I've always lived in Dothan. I've always had to work for everything that I've earned. Nothing was given to me. I don't expect for this race to be given to me. You've seen me out here knocking on your door. You've seen me on my social media. You've seen me on the radio. And I'm working hard to get your vote because the same energy that I bring in this race is the same energy I'm going to bring to the mayor's seat. Unlike Mr. Mark, John, James, whichever name he goes by, nothing has been given to me. He was born with a silver spoon. He has never had to earn. Never, let me repeat that one more time. He's never had to earn anything. Everything has always been given. Let's start with his position at Houston Boys and Girls Club. His dad was on that board. When his dad got ready to step down, his dad told him, hey, I'm going to put you in this seat. Boom. When he got ready to be mayor of Dothan for the first time, Mike Schmidt told him, hey, you our guy. We're going to put you in that seat.
Mr. McCray, I'm going to ask you to please step back, if you would, please.
So let's stop giving him something that he doesn't earn, okay? He's proven to us the last 8 years that Dothan as a whole doesn't matter to him. Only certain parts of Dothan matter. Let's put somebody in there to where Dothan as a whole matters. Again, let's use Trump's slogan, Dothan first.
All right, thank you. 90 seconds, your closing statement, Mayor Saliba.
Right. Thank you so much. Again, thanks to the sponsors for tonight and having us all out here. And I want to say congratulations to all the candidates that are out there. Thank you for taking an interest in putting yourself out there and wanting to run, especially for not only the commission and the mayor's seat, but our school board as well. You know, I know that most of you have known me for a long time. I have been here all of my life. I have served in this community in numerous positions, whether it was in the community service or whether that was in positions at the Chamber of Commerce and in my industry as well. I have worked hard over the last 8 years to make a difference in the city of Dothan, Alabama, and our region. I think it's extremely important that we put together a team of people that instead of being divisive, that will pull together, that will work together to make us the best city possible that's there. I think over the next 4 years, one of the things that I really want to continue to work on is the building up of quality of life. I think that our economic development is on the right track. I think that most of the things that we're doing is on the right track. But I think concentrating on how every person's life can be better is extremely important to me. I think God has hardwired all of us to be connected to Him and be connected to one another. And I think that that is the goal. If we can be compassionate with one another and work with one another, I think that we will continue to be the best Dothan we can possibly be. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, candidates. We appreciate that. As we're approaching the top of the hour, I'm going to ask for a short break for our local radio stations who are carrying our broadcast tonight. Stand by, local stations. I'm going to give you 15 seconds here to do your top of the hour legal ID, and then we'll come right back with our next group of candidates who will be debating. So we're going to pause just 15 seconds for station identification. In on our final candidates coming up in just moments. Thank you very much for listening tonight. We are doing something we've never done before. This is a professionally done live candidate debate from Dothan, Alabama, streamed live on wiregrassdailynews.com, also being heard on several of our radio stations as well. And while we're getting set for our next candidates, we thought we'd share a few fun facts from the city of Dothan for you. For example, a quick look at Dothan's history. When Dothan was incorporated in 1885, it had just a few hundred residents, but the city grew slowly at first. It was powered by the timber industry and later cotton farming. In the early 20th century, Dothan became known as the peanut capital of the world. The first National Peanut Festival was held here in 1938. And today, of course, peanuts are still the cornerstone of the Wiregrass economy. And over time, Dothan transformed from a small agricultural town into a regional hub. With a population now over 70,000, it's the largest city in the Wiregrass and a center for healthcare, retail, and culture. Tonight's debate is part of a long history of growth and civic engagement. A reminder that the decisions made here continue to shape Dothan's future. Okay, are we ready? We are ready for our next candidates in our debate. We'd like to introduce to you Mr. James Grant and Dr. Julie Turner.
Candidates, you will both have 90 seconds for your opening statement. We will begin with Mr. Grant.
Thank y'all for being here, and thank you for this great event tonight. This is wonderful. One of the things I heard the most tonight is about how people love Dothan. And let me tell you, I love Dothan too, and that's just something that my family's been here since 1910. And my family's got a wonderful history in the Dothan City School System. I'm running for Dothan City School Board Chairman because I love Dothan and I love this school system. My great-grandfather on both sides of my dad's side both went to Dothan City Schools. My grandfather and my grandmother on his side, my father, myself, my two sisters, my children, my wife and her sister and her mom taught the school system forever. So this means a lot to me. This is personal, and I want you to know that. I spent 25 years in education. I've been a realtor for 40 years in March next year, and 50 years ago in January, I walked from Girard Junior High School to my dad's office to start working for him. So I've been doing this a long time in this city. I've been extremely blessed throughout my life, and not blessed with money or anything like that, but just blessed to live in a place like Dothan. I love this place. One of the things I always depend on is the Word of God, the Holy Spirit, and godly people to guide me in everything that I do. Leadership is not about me, it's about we, and it's about empowering others.
Thank you. Dr. Turner, your opening statement, please.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Julie Mullins Turner, and my family has been here since Dothan was just a trading post named Poplar Head. I'm here to speak for the majority of citizens whose fathers were not mayors. I was the first person in my family to graduate from college, and I enjoyed it so much I went back and did it a few more times. I began my career teaching at Dothan High School. I continued it at Dothan City School Central Office, and then I went to the Alabama State Department of Education. All of my leadership has been in education. Serving as Alabama State Department of Education Ombudsman, I earned the skills to tackle the big issues. And Dothan City Schools really has some big issues right now. One of them being the budget. Pointing out that you have problems is not negative, and it is also not hostile. Everybody knows that when you have a problem, the first step in solving that problem is admitting that you have a problem. Now, Dothan City Schools, it's time for us to turn a page and start leading with accountability and transparency. And I have worked with every system in this state on their budget, and I have done it by not raising taxes on its citizens. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I can work with my teammates on the board to fix our budgetary problems without raising taxes on its citizens. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Our first question for our school board chair candidates, we're going to stay with Dr. Turner as we're going in reverse alphabetical order for our first question here. First question, the outgoing superintendent described the current board's chair's style as, quote, bullying. Regardless of whether that was true or false statement, it is clear that there is divisiveness within the school board. How do you plan to restore professionalism, respect, and collaborative governance on the board?
Well, I want to make it absolutely clear that Scott Childers is not a bully. Scott Childers believes in transparency. He believes in accountability. Anybody that looks at transparency and accountability as bullying has an issue with leadership. I plan on tackling problems head on. I also plan on leading a team, and I have a history of leading teams and bringing people together. Now, I have been a leader of many teams, and everyone that I have worked with will tell you that I bring people together. I also expect excellence from everyone on my team because I expect excellence from myself. And I will not let anybody that I work with work harder than I do. But I also expect transparency. I also expect accountability. And I do that because Dothan students should never come second. Dothan students should always come first, and Dothan's teachers should also be our top priority. That is how we bring Dothan students back to Dothan. If we take care of our teachers, they will be happy. And if we take care of our teachers, teachers will begin to come back to Dothan City Schools, and our students will begin to come back to Dothan City Schools. So that is how we create unity, by building a culture that is happy and collaborative. If we don't work on our culture and climate, we will not have a unity. But we cannot unify just for unity's sake.
All right, thank you. Your response to the same question, Mr. Grant: the outgoing superintendent described the current board chair's style as, quote, bullying. Regardless of whether that was a true or false statement, it is clear that there is divisiveness within the school board. How do you plan to restore professionalism, respect, and collaborative governance on the board?
Well, that's certainly not for me to decide whether it's bullying or not, but I do understand that what we've got to do is build unity and build it on that school board. We've got to build it not just on the school board, but we've got to collaborate with the new superintendent coming in. We've got to collaborate with each other. We've got to have respect for each other. We do have professionalism. I have been president of Alabama Realtors. I've been president of Alabama Career Tech Association. I've been president of the Technical Ed Association, Dothan Realtors. I'm chairman of the Historic Preservation Commission. All of those commissions, we've had deals come up, they're split us in some way or another. And the way to do that is just communication between each other. But the most important thing is exactly what it says on that board right there, is respect and collaborate with each other. I've always been a good communicator. I've always been a good listener. And I listen to what my people have to say. As the chairman of the school board, it's your job to lead those people in the right way. And it's your job to keep them together, to listen to each and every one of them. It's not as necessarily my job. My job is to work with the superintendent to get things done, and then to listen to the school board members and the public to try to do this. But we've got to have professionalism. We've got to have respect on this board, or we're not going to accomplish anything. We've got to be unified. We can disagree. Disagreements actually build trust with each other, because we can disagree, but we can also have respect for each other's opinion as well.
All right, thank you for your responses.
Question 2, we'll start with Mr. Grant. Following the tornado that damaged Dothan Prep Academy, district leaders and city officials met to discuss crisis response. As chair, what specific improvements will you implement to ensure schools are prepared for emergencies?
Yeah, that's good. I was actually at the Rotary Club that day, and I was sitting with some people from central office when that happened, and the response time and everything that happened there, I think we did a great job. The school system did a great job of that. We've got to make sure our children are safe, first and foremost, and that's in a lot of areas. But that we never know. That's not something you can plan for, but that is something you have to plan for. You never know when it's coming, but you know that there's the possibility there. We've got to make sure that these improvements are in place. We've got to make sure that each and every school is prepared for emergencies. They've got a great system in place now, and we need to continue to implement that. Teachers, administrators, all of those people are vitally important in making sure these things happen. And I mean, I was real proud of the way it was handled this past time. So, hopefully it wouldn't happen again, and we'll continue to pray for that, because that could have been a lot worse than it was, because we saw what happened in Enterprise a couple years ago. So.
Thank you. Dr. Turner, same question. Following the tornado that damaged Dothan Prep Academy, district leaders and city officials met to discuss crisis response. As chair, what specific improvements will you implement to ensure schools are prepared for emergencies?
Well, first of all, let me go ahead and say thank you to the teachers who responded, because it was the teachers and the administration who protected those children. We had a very slow response from central office, and that is not okay. Our superintendent was actually out of town at the time, and he did not make it over to Dothan Prep Academy until after a board meeting that should have been canceled because children were hurt, their homes were lost during that tornado. And in any case, our students come first. So we do a very good job of prepping our students for crises such as this. However, we have to make sure that not only our schools are prepared for for disasters such as this, but our central office employees have disaster crisis plans. When they will go over there, what time, what happens, when is it safe for them to go over there? Because all of our employees should be protected. So there was not a plan in place for central office staff. So we need to have a plan in place to protect our students, because our students always must come first.
Thank you.
Our next question will start with Dr. Turner. The school board has hired 5 superintendents in the past 11 years, making the new hire, Dr. Derrick Askew, the 5th leader. How will you ensure stability and support to the new superintendent succeeds and avoids past setbacks?
Well, first of all, Dr. Askew is very intelligent. He's a very intelligent man. But first, we have to work with him. We have to be collaborative with him. However, it is my opinion that we should have promoted within. The most successful school systems that I've worked with, and I have worked with every school system in this state, promotes from within. And that way you find people who love Dothan, who understand Dothan, and who knows Dothan's students and teachers. Also, you incentivize teachers to go and further their education and know that their education, the money that they pay, because no one pays for teachers to get their doctorate. No one pays for teachers to get their master's. That comes out of teachers' pockets, and if you don't know, they don't make a lot of money. So when you become a teacher, you do that from your heart. So they will know that their payment to get their education will be rewarded, and they know that their dedication to our students will be rewarded, and they will put into those jobs what we have poured into them. Students and teachers must always come first.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Same question for Mr. Grant. The school board has hired 5 superintendents in the past 11 years, making the new hire, Dr. Derrick Askew, the 5th leader. How will you ensure stability and support so the new superintendent succeeds and avoids past setbacks?
Well, as I started earlier, the one thing I've heard everybody say tonight is how much they love Dothan. So we need to open our arms and welcome this man and cover this man in prayer and make sure that Dr. Askew, when he gets here, he is extremely supported. And he can't help but succeed if we love him, and he loves Dothan like we do. That's the first thing we've got to do. We've got to make sure he comes in here and we have and support him from the very beginning in everything that he does. The past is the past. We can't do anything about it. All we can do about it is the future. So Dr. Askew, I've met him, I've talked to him, didn't get to spend a lot of time with him. I've researched him a little bit, and I'm really excited about him coming here. I think he's the right person at the right time, and I'm hoping everybody sees that. Whether he is or not, he is here, and he's going to be the person, so we've got to make sure that we support him. We want him to stay here. We want him to be here a long time. We'd love for him to retire here. That would be a wonderful thing because he's done such a good job. That's what we want. So I hate the fact that we've had 5 superintendents in 11 years. I didn't even realize that was the number because I retired 14 years ago. But I am excited about him coming in, and I'll be the first one. If I'm elected, I will start working with him right out of the chute.
All right, thank you very much.
We'll start with Mr. Grant. Last November, the Alabama's,
Did both candidates get that question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We've
Sorry.
got that question.
We've been up here for a while.
We've been here a while, folks. So have you. So, but hey, we're almost through, so hang on.
Okay, one more time. For Mr. Grant, Last November, the Alabama State Department of Education released its annual report card where this district's performance score dropped by 1 point. As chair, what key academic or operational priorities would you implement to reverse the trend?
Well, obviously you never want to see the score drop. You always want to see the scores come up. So we got to make sure teachers have what they need. We got to make sure teachers are supported. We have lost some teachers over the past couple of years, so we've got to make sure we retain teachers. Not just teachers, we got to have qualified teachers in the right places. We do not need babysitters. We need people to do what their job. If we support the teachers and we make sure they have what they need, that's the first thing that's going to help there. We got to put our money where our mouth is, and we got to make sure that we have the right people in place. There are so many things. First and foremost, we've got to make sure every student is prepared for school each and every day, and that's something we've got to do. That's one of the things I'd like to do is go out in the community, have community meetings, and make sure that people, what can we do to help parents have their kids ready for school? What can we do? And I know that's a hard ask, but what can we do to have every kid ready? Because part of that is just coming from students sometimes not being ready for school, and the gap sometimes can get widened there. So I just think that this is I hate to see that, but I know that we can do better. We've done better in the past, and we'll continue to do better, and we've got to do a lot of things to make sure the teachers have what they need, make sure the students are supported, and make sure our central office is doing what they need to make this better.
Thank you. Dr. Turner, same question. Last November, the Alabama State Department of Education released its annual report card where this district's performance score dropped by 1 point. As chair, what key academic or operational priorities would you implement to reverse the trend?
This is a great question, and I would like to add that I was actually on the team, led the team, that created the state and federal report cards. So I know what these indicators are for. I still have the formulas on my computer, and I know what these indicators stand for and what the raw data actually reads. So I know these indicators intimately. 1 point is not that great of drop. However, we never want to see any of our students or any of our schools or even our district drop at any point. We want them to go up, and I have the tools to help them go up. I know what curriculum we need to be teaching, what curriculum we do not need to be teaching. I understand the curriculum. I have a doctorate in education. I know how to help teachers, and I know what professional development that we are actually making our teachers sit through that do not help them at all. And I know that we should not be wasting money on professional development that do not help our teachers. We need to help our teachers help our students. And we need to use our money wisely to help our teachers, help our students improve. And that's what we need to do in order to get that report card up.
Thank you.
Okay, our final question, and Dr. Turner, you will have the first chance at this final question. This is a community question. This comes from Brianna. Over the last several years, a lot of parents of special needs students have been forced to relocate due to the lack of support for their children's needs in the school system. What would you do to try to push for a solution to this issue?
This is completely unacceptable, and it's against the law. We have to follow the law. When a student is a special needs student, the law states that we must follow their IEP or 504 plan. And basically, we need to get back to following the law. We have to be completely transparent and accountable to all parents. I do not care what the disability is. If there is an IEP in place, if there is a 504 in place, we must follow it. It doesn't matter what it costs the system. We must follow it. It is the law. And if we're not following it, we're breaking the law. And that's not okay. That is not okay. Imagine if it was your child. I know that of one case, there was a beautiful, beautiful kindergarten child who needed an interpreter, and we refused to pay an interpreter. They wanted to put this beautiful child in front of a computer for 8 hours. How would you feel if it was your child who was completely deaf and they would not pay for an interpreter? for your child. So the main thing that we can do in this situation is follow the law, the laws that have been in place since 1975. That's what we will do. And we will make sure that we enforce the law no matter what, because it is all about children. It's all about our students and giving them what they need.
Thank you. And that same question to you, Mr. Grant, the community question from Brianna. Over the last several years, a lot of parents of special needs students have been forced to relocate due to the lack of support for their children's needs in the school system. What would you do to try to push for a solution to this issue?
Well, first of all, I absolutely agree with Julie on this one because we do have to follow the law. As a teacher for 25 years, I had to do the same thing, working with kids with IEPs, working with kids with disabilities. And the first thing is, you've got to have good communication between the teachers and the parents and the special needs teachers and all people. As a teacher that was not a special needs teacher, I did teach kids with that, so I worked with those teachers to help in my program. I love the fact that over the years, I had a lot of success stories on kids that were special needs. I've got one right now that does a lot of work for me in my property management company. And I am thrilled for that because he has done great things in this community. So I do think we've got to follow the law. She's correct about that, totally correct about that. And we've got to make sure we got the right teachers again. We've got to make sure we have the right teachers in place to do the right things we need to do. But as a board, we've got to make sure they're following the law. We've got to make sure that our superintendent and the people at central office are doing this. And I work with some great people. We had a special needs program for years out at DTC that was just wonderful, teaching kids career and technical education. And that was one of the best programs we had. I'd love to see that come back because these kids can do that too. So.
All right, thank you.
Each candidate will now have 90 seconds for your closing statements. We'll begin with Dr. Turner.
Okay.
Dr. Turner, sorry.
I have spent a lot of time in education. I have a lot of education in education. I've served my community at the state level, the local level, and even the national level. I've even served on committees with 2 sitting secretaries of education, including President Trump's Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos. So I know education. And all of my leadership has been in education. I know it. I've lived it. And I'm ready to bring all of my education, all of my experience, and all of my leadership to the position of Dothan City Schools Board Chairperson. I believe that Dothan City Schools can benefit from my experience, my education, and my leadership roles. I love Dothan. I love Dothan students. But right now, we are hemorrhaging teachers. And when you talk to those teachers, and I have talked to them, they are taking jobs that pay less and they have to drive further away because of the culture and the climate that we have right now in Dothan City Schools. And I believe as chairman that I can communicate with those teachers. I do communicate with those teachers, and we can get them to stay if we change our culture and climate. Thank you for having us tonight.
Thank you. Mr. Grant, your closing statement.
Okay, thank you. Listen, I am excited to even be here doing this because this is something I've thought about for a long time. This is something my wife and I prayed about, and when she said, let's go, we're in. We're totally in there. This, like I said, this is not a me thing. This is a we thing. I love the Dothan City Schools. I love Dothan. I'm extremely proud of what my father did as a mayor, but most importantly, what I learned from him about how to build unity, how he led, how I watched him lead. But one thing he did do, he learned from the ultimate leader of all, Jesus Christ, because my dad loved to read the Bible each and every day. I do the same thing. I treat leadership like I do Bible study. It's not something you do in a day. It's not something you learn in a day. It's something you learn over your lifetime. It's about lifetime learning. And I know that I can lead this school system back to unity. I know that I can get this board unified. I know that I can lead it in the right direction. I know with a new superintendent coming in that I can lead it in the right direction. And one thing I want to say is, in my Bible study on the book of Esther, I read a quote that said, when the right leader comes along at the right moment, incredible things can happen. And I'm ready to make Dothan, not me, I'm ready for us to make Dothan incredible things happen in the city of Dothan and in our school system. And I thank you and I ask for your vote and your support and most importantly, your prayers on August the 5th. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you to our school board chair candidates, all our candidates tonight. We appreciate it very much. Thank you. Well, Caitlin, we made it.
We did. I cracked at the end there, and I'm so sorry. This concludes our debate. Please don't forget to vote in the City of Dothan election on Tuesday, August 5th. Polls will be open from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. Polling locations can be found by visiting the elections page at dothan.org. We hope you'll be a part of helping to shape Dothan's future.
Don't forget you can watch the full recorded debate at wiregrassdailynews.com. Tune in for live election night coverage with Wiregrass Daily News after you vote on August 5th. Thank you to Durden Outdoor for letting us host this debate here, Durden Sign Museum, and thank you for tuning in to the 2025 Wiregrass Daily News debate. For Caitlin Long at Wiregrass Daily News, I'm BJ Kelly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming and thank you for listening and watching.
Good night.
They're not waiting around.
Thank you.
I think my butt is asleep.